the underground. Make madness your ritual.
What's happening, folks? How you doing? You know what's up, right? You know what's going on, right? You know what's going on? Yeah, I figured you would. Well, thanks for joining me. This is Ritual Madness Podcast. Do me a favor, check out Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated Custom Screen Printing, antibroadcasting at gmail.com, 612-836-9488. Give those guys a call. Tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll give you a deal. I don't know if they will or not, but if you're looking to get some screen printing done, some T-shirts, I know they do sweatpants and all kinds of crazy shit. They've got a giant catalog that you guys can look for your merch needs. Give them a shout. Again, Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated, custom screen printing, antibroadcasting at gmail.com, 612-836-9488. My homies, look them up, check them out. Make sure you get your merch done properly. All right. If you're looking to get tattooed, do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. Lowbrow Saints at gmail.com. Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755. That's 612-353-4755. Jason Del Castillo is my homeboy, and he has been on the show several times, just talking shit, having fun. Check out the Donkey Shows if you're so inclined. Do me a favor, check out ritualmanispodcast.com. You can check out all the past episodes there. Scroll down, you'll see a ton of photography and blogs, just me talking shit about people in the scene and all that other stuff and making fun of them. And they never look because they never come to my website. So it's pretty good. I get away with it. It's really easy. My guest tonight is Maniacal Force. Why don't you tell me who you are, what you do in the band?
Well, I'm Brett, and
Hi, Brett.
I am guitar.
Guitar. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you.
What kind of guitar do you play? Dean, right?
I play a Dean Cadillac and an Ibanez.
Nice. What's the Ibanez?
Couldn't tell you. Too many numbers and letters in it.
132.5 on the...
It's a black one.
That makes it easier. How about you, sir?
I'm Chris. I play bass, and I'm the vocalist.
Nice. Very cool, man. Well, I was telling these guys when they came into the shop here, or into the studio, that I'd heard about these guys, kind of a buzz about you cats. And how long have you guys been together?
Well, let's see. Since 2016, I'm pretty sure. A few changes here and there, but I think that was the original incarnation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Since, it was 2016, I think.
Now, are you guys from Minneapolis or St. Paul? Or are you guys? No. Okay.
Well,
where are you cats at?
Originally, the band was formed in Hammond, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Went through a couple lineup changes, ended up pretty much relocating to St. Paul, and kind of been a St. Paul-based band now, pretty much as long as we've had any recorded material. So,
nice. St. Paul, what part of St. Paul? Where do you hail from in St. Paul? Just St. Paul proper in general?
I guess Chris and Braden, our drummer, they're out of South St. Paul, and Jake, our other guitar player, he's in St. Paul proper, I guess. I don't know.
Just St. Paul. We'll go with St. Paul.
But I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm the odd one out.
The one who has to drive for practice.
Do you still live in Wisconsin? Do you live in Hammond or what?
I live in Richmond.
In Richmond, okay. So you get to deal with all the knuckleheads. I suppose going back and forth, dude, is will you do that how many times a week?
Usually once, sometimes twice.
Yeah. And you guys were talking before we went on. You guys are kind of in the writing process right now.
Yep.
Well, that's good. Now you released. Let me see here. What's this album called? Depraved Existence in 2020.
Correct.
Now, how many records do you guys have before this one?
Just one. It's just a 4-song EP, kind of a demo EP, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So just the 2 releases.
Oh, right on. And now 2020 was a hell of a year for everybody, kind of getting their dick kicked by the COVID shit. Now, how did you guys fare releasing it? Were you able to have a show? Were you able to do anything in the basement anywhere? Were you able to just release it digitally, or?
We did have a release show at the Whiskey Junction.
Yeah.
So it was a killer show. A lot of people showed up, but then right after that, nothing.
Yeah. What time frame was that?
That was late. Early February.
February.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe
just
a couple
before everything.
weeks or a month before everything shut down.
3 weeks later, everything was canceled.
Yep.
Like, man, bad timing, huh?
Well, yeah, and you releasing something like that, and I was telling you earlier, I had a chance to listen to that stuff today. That first tune was "Clouds of Death." Tell me about that. Where's the premise of that? What's it all about?
Clouds of Death, lyrically, I didn't write the lyrics for that song, but I can kind of tell you what it's about. Chemical warfare.
Oh, gotcha. Chemical
clouds of death.
You got to scream that when you say those words together. Chemical warfare. You got it's like a metal thing. You have to do it.
Chemical warfare.
There you go. So I like to ask this about my guests, or from my guests. What was going on in your household when you were a kid what got you? I mean, what was mom and dad playing? Brothers and sisters. What were you listening to when you were coming up? What was the first like musical thing that you got a chance to be exposed to?
Oh man, just your basic radio rock shit, you know?
Yeah.
Classic rock, you know, just whatever was on in the car drive, you know, as
Sure.
a kid or whatever. Nothing out of the ordinary, just
like
all the old, you know, the oldies of the radio hits. You
Sure.
know, that's, you know.
Well, just to kind of gauge what kind of radio hits we're talking about. Okay, throw a couple out there that you could think of.
Oh, you know, Journey, you know, just any of the classic rock, you know.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Now, what was the first band to kind of send you down this path of pure evil?
Well, as with any, you know, it's a progression, or at least it was with me. I didn't discover the real evil, heavy, dark shit till later on. If we're starting earlier than that, you know, when I was, you know, growing up as a teenager, the first heavy band that I was probably exposed to, you know, got to be Slipknot, probably, you know.
Okay.
Slipknot, and obviously Metallica, you know, because they were still huge, you know, everyone. But I think probably Slipknot was the first real, actual heavy band I heard, and I was blown away. It was like, you know, what is this?
Everybody was. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything like this, you know, before.
Yeah.
This is heavy, you know. I like this.
Yeah.
It's fast and heavy and aggressive.
Oh yeah, for sure. How about you, sir?
When I was growing up, my old man, he played in like bar bands, so I listened to a lot of like crappy butt rock.
What did he play? Or what does he play?
He's a guitar player.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he shreds. He's super good. But it was a lot of trying to think of like those '90s, you know, butt rock. Like, I wouldn't say Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you know, in that kind of vein.
Sure.
Like just the worst stuff you can think of. You know. But you know, he was a metalhead back in the '80s and stuff. So I did listen to like Stormtroopers of Death when I was, and he showed me stuff like that. And, you know, Megadeth. So I kind of. You know, at age 10, I was listening
to Metallica. Rock is such a wide span of music. You know, it's like 80s is what I would think butt rock. You know, Motley Crue, you know, just the hair bands to me would be butt rock. I don't know. And then you know, I mean, you throw the Chili Peppers in there too. And
well, I guess I'm saying like that contemporary alt kind of.
Yeah. Like. Now, what was the band that kind of sparked you, pushed you down this dirty hallway?
Probably Metallica, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the first kind of riffy stuff I heard, I'm like, oh, this is different.
Now, like what albums are we talking?
I think the first album I got had to have been Master of Puppets.
Okay.
I think that was the first one. I mean, I heard like...
I was going to shame you if you said Black Album. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I heard like, you know, Sad But True and like Enter Sandman stuff on the radio.
Yep.
And then that was, you know, it was whatever. And then when I actually heard the real stuff, I was like, oh...
yeah.
This is great.
Did you go back right away? Were you like, I got to hear some more of this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then my old man, he bought me, you know, Kill 'Em All. He bought me Ride the Lightning and everything.
So he was like, I'm not going to let you start on this shit. We're going to pull you back.
Well, I mean, he did the bar band stuff for money and, you know, like girls and stuff, you know. Back in the day. Like,
sounds like your dad's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I guess he...
let me see here. Craig Rosensbeard checking in. Wait, start over. I just got here. Thanks for joining me, Craig. I appreciate it. Thank you to your beard as well. The cloth. Turn up the guest volume a little bit. Don't tell me what to do, okay, man? Jesus Christ. All right. He's told me before that this board is pretty low when it comes to that. Steve Papino says, "What's up, Brett?"
Oh, what's up, Steve?
Greg, my dad was mad. I didn't mention he has every Zeppelin album on the big plastic discs. Oh, well, tell your dad he's extra awesome if that's the case. If he had all the Zeppelin albums back in the day, that's pretty rad. Do you know Steve?
I know Steve. Yep.
Dude, Steve's old school.
Yep.
Steve's really old school, man.
Yeah, I get to hear all the good stories from back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. What does he tell you? Does he tell you about all the old school bands that we used to see as kids?
Just what you were saying when you seen Death and Obituary, you know, in the 90s, just makes me, just I wish I could have been there,
Well, and this is what I noticed, hearing Maniacal Force, and I said it to these guys before we started, is that I feel like, and if you had a chance to listen to the first tune that we checked out here, I want to make sure that let me see here, Clouds of Death. Okay, so if you had a chance to listen to that song and playing it this week, before I wanted to kind of I had seen you guys live, and I was fucking blown away. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I had heard about you guys, and it was good buzz, man. You know what I mean? And I told you guys before, it's like when I hear about a band or whatever, I let it breathe a little bit. To organically, more people will start talking, and then you're just like, it piques your interest more. So I'd heard about you guys, and I was like, I got to check these dudes out. Maniacal Force, pretty fucking brutal name. Got to check it out. You know what I mean? So I got to see you guys at the Northstar Bar with Cymothwa and Hex Vortices, and yeah, I didn't get to stay for the whole set, but I was right there taking shots, and you guys were throwing down, man. It was definitely worth it. And like I said, these guys to me have a very old school feel to it. And talking about those older bands, you guys were like, yeah, that's our dig. That's what you guys dig. Now, when it comes to writing, who does a majority of the writing? Do you guys all come together on that, or?
A lot of it runs on Brett's shoulders, actually. And then we kind of collaborate with him once he has some good ideas.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
So it's like you're the riff guy. You come
the
in
riff
with
guy.
a good riff.
Yeah. I guess I'm the primary songwriter, riff writer.
Sure.
So, but
now, is the other guitar player, is he younger than you are? He seemed younger. He seemed like he was.
No, he's about the same age as me and you, Chris, right? Maybe a year younger.
He's 30.
Yeah, I think he's 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with your drummer as well, dude. He's got some chops. He's a heavy hitter.
He's got some talent. Yep.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you guys do the dual vocals together. It really blends really well together. I wasn't even expecting it, you know what I mean? And like you see the mic kind of sitting over, and he was kind of like leaning over, and then he kind of pulled it closer, and really kind of you guys did well with the PA that you were working with. You know what I mean? It's basically nothing.
Right. Yeah. There's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
With the sounds there.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It was good first time to see you cats, and so now with the old school vibe, and I know you guys were talking about writing on some stuff right now. You released your last release was 2 years ago. Have you guys been playing the same material or throwing in new songs here and there? How many shows have you guys played since you've been out, or since things have kind of let up a little bit?
I think it's like seven shows maybe. We're playing one new song right now.
Okay.
Hoping to play another new song on our next show that we play. Kind of working on getting that tightened up for live. But it's been the same material for the past couple of years.
Fuck, man, you just get stuck in that mode too. You know what I mean? And it's like, and with things being pulled back and not having a lot of places to play right now, it's like the perfect time to kind of kick back and do it. You know what I mean? But make sure you keep your name out there and try to share some of these tunes, man, because every one of these on this album are heavy as balls, man. I really, really dig this stuff. And I just because we were talking, I did get a text back right away. Shout out to Les Watkins, Slam Mama out there out in South Dakota and Sioux Falls. Slam Mama is the young lady who runs Slam Dakota Fest, and if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I was out there last year and took photos all day, waiting to see Skeletal Remains, and I got to see like 7 songs. I want to say like 5 or 6 songs, and then I ended up had to get the fuck out of there, but. It was killer all day. Super fun. Lots of cool bands. Lots of people intermingling and handing out. You know what I mean? Like networking, which is killer. Where are you guys looking to branch out to? Just out of Minnesota? Now you guys did say off the air that you guys all have full-time jobs and things like that. How deep are you gonna go?
I mean. If we could make money doing it, we would do that,
Right.
All quit our jobs. Fuck yeah. But,
right.
I mean, as deep as we can get, right? I mean.
Balls deep.
Yeah, balls
deep.
Gotta go all the way in, man. Fuck it. So you guys play shows in Wisconsin since you're basically formed there? Or?
We've played
A couple shows, maybe.
Well, the very first show we ever played was in Hammond, Wisconsin, where the band was formed, actually. And then we haven't been back. We've been back to Wisconsin once to play. Other than that, but yeah, we're looking to branch out and play Wisconsin and the general Midwest and wherever the hell else we can play. Yeah, just trying to expand our horizons and get our name out there a little bit more.
Now, how did you come up with the name? I'm assuming that you kind of
the name actually
looked that one up or what?
One of the old previous band members actually had the name Maniacal 4, so that existed actually. Well, I think the name was created when I was in the band, but it was a previous band member that had made the name. So I can't say exactly how the name came up, and
And he relinquished it. Why he didn't care that you carried the ball back, past him or what?
Well, I think it was our very first drummer. I'm pretty sure who came up with the name, and he ended up quitting. Yeah. So, and we just stuck with the name because we thought it was a hell of a good name.
Sure.
So.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Who did your logo?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was I found somebody online that made some really cool stuff, and then we gave them a bunch of inspiration, like Dismember logo and some other older, because we wanted it to be legible, right?
Sure.
We didn't want a bunch of crazy spikes.
Yeah.
Our very first logo was just a bunch of crazy spikes and shit. And we're like, it should be legible, and then gave him an idea, and he came back with that. Yeah, perfect.
I'm just gonna say this, as an old school death metal cat, I appreciate the legible logos. You know what I mean? Make it look brutal, but yet legible. You know what I mean?
I agree.
There's going to be other guys who are going to be like, oh, fuck you, that's false metal. You know what I mean? That type of shit. But I appreciate a logo you can read. And I always tell people this, man, and I've said it on the podcast a million times. If you don't have a legible fucking thing, you want it to be the hardest pile of sticks you've ever seen in your life, right? You might as well just put your name in really small, font right below it, and maybe where you're from, you know what I mean? Fucking, poo catcher, Wichita, you know what I mean? Type of shit or something, you know what I mean? Just you want people to know your name. You don't want to go, a pile of sticks. I love those dudes. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. And you want people to know your name and have remember it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. Now, what type of gear do you guys like to play? What's your go-to amps? What are your go-to?
Yeah, amp-wise, running a Marshall JVM 210 for a head and a 1960 Marshall A cabinet.
Damn.
So that's what I'm running for that, amp-wise.
1960.
Well, it's not actually from 1960. It's just the model name of it.
I got you.
Yeah, that's how they market the cabinet. They call it a 1960,
right.
But it was really manufactured 3 years ago. It's Marshall's way of marketing.
Yeah, making you feel like it's cooler than what it is and shit.
So it's misleading. But
what about guitars? You said the Dean and the Ibanez. Are those your only two guitars, or do you have?
I do have more guitars, but those are the two guitars I use for this band specifically.
What did you start playing? Let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. What was guitar your first instrument?
Guitar was not my first instrument. First instrument I ever played was trumpet in middle school band for a couple of years.
You don't look like a trumpet player.
Yeah, it was okay for a couple of years, and I didn't care anymore. Whatever.
Yeah.
So trumpet technically was the first instrument I'd played.
And then where'd you go after that?
Just guitar. It's the only instruments I've played.
Did you did you get an acoustic? Did you get an electric right away?
I got an electric right away.
Now, were you learning things on your own, or would you take lessons right away? Or?
On my own, and I had a couple of friends who had been playing for a few years too. So I'd jam with them. And
do they still play?
They'd show me some things. Yeah, they still play here and there. I'm pretty sure. So
what kind of stuff did you learn first? Smoke on the Water?
Yeah, I think everyone learned that one for sure. Yeah. When I first started learning, learned a lot of Metallica riffs. Maybe not right away, but the easy ones at least.
Sure, sure.
A lot of System of a Down.
Nothing wrong with that either.
There's probably some.
Did you learn any Slipknot?
I think there was a couple of Slipknot riffs I learned, Duality or something.
What was your first like full song that you learned to play? Do you remember that?
That, yeah. Well,
you know how you like
maybe
learn the sections, each
right,
section,
every song, so you can play it all the way through.
Yeah.
It was probably either a System of a Down song or a Metallica song.
Right.
I can't remember which one it was, but maybe it was Seek and Destroy or something. Could have been that one.
Oh yeah, it's a good tune to learn. It's a fucking catchy tune, man. You know. How about you, man?
For gear, so I play like a dark glass, like a little lunchbox.
Okay.
I just have like a 410 Fender. A few different basses. I've been playing this weird 90s Fender that I found on Reverb.
Right.
It's like some oddball thing they made for like a year. But I have like a Gibson and like a Reverend too that I play from time to time.
Sure.
I actually am not really a bass player, which is funny. I actually play guitar. When I joined this band, they needed a bass player, and I was bored, so I was like, yeah, you know.
Do you come up with riffs ever? Do you ever like suggest anything? Write any of the stuff, or does he go? Play bass, fucker.
I wouldn't say that. Sometimes I have ideas, and he's like, yeah, let's try it that way. But I don't really come up with riffs because the kind of stuff I play is not similar to, what we do.
Sure. What kind of stuff do you like to play?
I like doing more sludgy, kind of Mastodon-y kind of guitar riffing and stuff like that, and more blues and kind of weird stuff. So
nice. Now, bass-wise, how was the transition to bass playing this style of stuff?
It's easy because I just play with a pick and I just play what they do with less notes.
Right.
I don't think I play the bass quite right.
Yeah.
But
well, you take some liberties with it.
Sometimes I do some neat stuff, but like, I mean, I'm not sitting there slapping it and playing funky stuff. I'm just, fucking hammering it.
There was a couple times today when I was listening to it, I was just like, he plays with the fucking pick. I know it. Plays with the pick. There's just like a certain tone, and it's like a brighter tone to it. But there was like it was sticking out in a couple spots, and I was just like, oh. And I got this little ass speaker too, so like being able to hear any low end at all is fucking real hard. I'm driving like, yeah, he plays with a pick for sure, man.
Yep. I cheat.
Now, how long has this particular incarnation of the band been together?
Let's see. I believe it was
2018 when I started.
Oh no, so including Jake.
Oh, including Jake.
So this current incarnation has only existed since I think it was May of last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys gel really well together.
So we're happy with Jake, our new guitar player. He really fits this band perfectly, pretty much in every single way. Basically.
Dude, he's got a solid presence too. You know what I mean? Like there was some slower shit that you guys were doing in between, like bridges or whatever. And I looked over at him where you're like, you know what I mean? And he's fucking growling at everybody. You were like really unassuming. Now talking to you now, as opposed to watching you play. Two totally different people. That's how I felt. Like we're talking, and I'm like, you don't seem like the same guy. Fucking growling. I know how it goes. You know what I mean?
Get a little anger out, on stage, right?
That's the way to do it, man. Especially if you're playing shit that heavy. You know what I mean? You fucking got to snarl at people. You can't be Mr. Nice Guy the whole time. How you doing? How you like that? Type of shit. I dig it. So give me 5 of your top bands that you really dig when it comes to heavy. What's your 5 favorite? No specific order, just 5 heavy ass bands that you like that you would throw in on a daily basis, weekly basis.
Sure, just any metal band.
Anything that you like to play or like to hear.
Just my go-tos.
Just go-tos.
My go-tos, man, gotta be Savatage at number 1.
There you go.
Dismember.
Old school thrash.
Sabotage,
Hall of the Mountain King
Dismember.
shit.
Yeah, that's the good stuff there. What else am I always... man.
Isn't the guitar player from Sabotage the guy who started the Trans-Siberian Orchestra? Isn't that the dude?
There is connections there, yes, with the producer and the John Oliva, the singer, and one of their guitar players too. I think Chris Caffrey. Yeah. What else would I say?
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sabotage, Dismember, other heavy bands.
It's
I
like
guess
the hardest thing to do.
Well, there's too many to pick from, you know.
Well,
too
just
many good
throw
ones,
some good ones,
but,
man. Anything you like.
You know.
What'd you listen to this week?
This week, well, I've been listening to a lot of Queensryche. They're not super heavy.
No, but that's okay. That's all right. And there's no shame in, there's no shame in fucking.
I mean, they used to be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Relatively. So we'll throw them in there too.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I like variety, man. I can't just go brutal all the time.
Yeah, I haven't been listening to anything super, super heavy or fast lately. Yeah, I guess can always get down to Death, Obituary.
Oh yeah.
Bolt Thrower is huge.
Hell yeah.
Can't get enough Bolt Thrower.
Yeah, for sure. Now when you in a writing process like this, now that you guys are writing stuff, do you shy away from heavier stuff? Do you kind of like go with what you feeling like? You don't try to like. I know when I was writing with heavy shit and like doing vocal patterns, I tried to stay away from heavier shit. I would just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Something lighter, something more like relaxed, to where I could, you know, if I was feeling that fucking heaviness, I wanted to write that shit down. You know what I mean? Like, is there anything that you do different when you're in the writing mode?
I don't know. Not really, I guess. Still just draw influences from, you know, those classic 80s, 90s bands and, you know, just try to put my own little twist on it and make it my own.
Sure.
I guess. It's still very influenced by the old school stuff.
Right.
So.
I like that you guys are at a nice medium fast pace, not all just, you know what I mean, just blistering blast all the time.
Yeah, we like to try to, you know, keep the tempos varied, or not necessarily, you know,
you can
fast
feel
all the time or slow all the time. You know, we have tempo
more moody,
changes,
more fucking, I don't know, beef to it. You know, if you're going a million miles an hour and trying to jam too many riffs in one, you know what I mean? Like, there's a time and place for it, obviously, but it seems like you guys are, you know, on the right fucking path. How about you for bands?
I guess I'm less with like the old school stuff. Like I'd say like Fear Factory would be like my number one.
Sure.
Pig Destroyer.
Yep. Older Pig Destroyer stuff?
I like their new stuff too, but definitely their older shit. But High on Fire.
Oh yeah. I got to see those guys in the fucking at Triple Rock. That little ass room.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Typo Negative. I guess they're not heavy, but I really like gothy kind of gloomy shit.
Yep.
It's hard when you're on the spot trying to think of stuff that you listen to.
Yeah.
I've been listening to At the Gates a lot lately.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into them, and now I'm kind of getting into them. So.
Sure. I love that shit where, you know, like I've had lots of people suggest bands and you're kind of like, you'll hear one tune that kind of gets you, you buy the album and you kind of shelve it for a little bit and then all of a sudden something will come by. Like Fear Factory was like that for me for a little while. Like I seen them way early, you know, and then I really liked it and then kind of in the middle somewhere. And now that new one's fucking heavy as balls. I really like that new one. Fear Factory's good shit.
They're still going good. No, actually, no. Burton C. Bell's not in the band anymore, is he? No, that's right.
I don't believe so. But that dude whoever sang on that last one sounded just like him. Sounded fucking fantastic, man. I dig that shit. Now, with the old school feel to your music, like, do you guys set out? I mean, when you like, do you have bands that you feel like you're molded more towards? Are there certain, because I couldn't put my finger on it, but there were certain things that I felt like I got a Morgoth vibe from you guys.
Sure.
I
haven't heard that one, but now that you say that, I can see it.
And it's funny that you have a song called Insidious Disease, and that's what that singer's band's name is, Insidious Disease.
Oh, is that?
He's got
the
a
singer
band
from that. No,
Yeah,
it's
from-
Insidious Disease.
yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I think he's got another
I've seen
band
the name,
too.
but I didn't know it was the Mark.
I can't remember his name.
Okay.
I seen him with Creator on Coma of Souls. Yeah, I think so. Coma of Souls at First Avenue.
Damn.
Fucking brutal, dude. Fucking brutal. And dude's voice was just raspy as
Yeah,
shit.
really raspy.
But when they were throwing down, like he held onto the stand, it was like the whole time and whipping his blonde hair. It's fucking awesome. Good shit. Now he's got like tattooed eyeballs and shit now. He's weird looking.
All right.
Yeah, he's crazy looking, dude. He went to that extreme, you know what I mean? Fuck yeah, dude. Bands you guys like to play, who play with, clubs you like to play in. What are some of your favorites in the town? What are some of your favorite shows that you've played so far here in the Twin Cities?
You got to think about this because it's been a lot of stuff. Really like playing the Whiskey Junction. That place is super fun. We played Part Wolf once.
Yeah.
Recently, and then they closed. We're like, shit.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking great to go back there.
Was your stage weird?
It was weird, but there's something about that place. I was like, this is the sound guy. There was some young kid. Man, he was fucking great.
Yeah.
It sounded great in there.
Good.
Bands, I mean, play with anybody really. I mean,
right.
I guess we don't have no particular favorites.
Well, we played a lot with I don't know if they're a band. I don't think they're a band, but Plagued Insanity. We used to play a lot of shows with them.
Yeah.
They were always really fun.
Yeah.
They put on a good show and like to have fun.
Yeah. That's always fun. Did you guys play a lot of their? They did a lot of fucking house shows and shit, didn't they?
I think they did. We have actually never played a house show.
Well, there's got to be some heavy metal cats out there that have done that are wanting to do some house shows. I know. Where did you guys record the Deprived Existence album?
We recorded at 1459 Studios.
Nice. Will did that stuff?
Yep.
Dude, that's crispy. It sounds really good. 1459 there. Big shoots. Ask Brett about Warbringer. How did he not mention them?
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about Warbringer. That's a damn shame because Warbringer's definitely in that should have been in that top 5 or at least top 10 for sure.
Yeah,
heavy bands. Yeah,
of course.
They're definitely our go-to band.
Steve says Mark Gruey.
Mark Grew.
Yeah,
Mark Grew or Gruey. Yeah, yep, that's it.
Damn, that's a name I fucking haven't heard in forever. Like I said, I didn't even know his name. I love that band from back in the day, and old friend of mine, Shane, actually turned me on to that Insidious Disease stuff. It's kind of funny when you have like old school death metal cats that are, you know what I mean? They're not really. They find these bands and will throw them at you, and you're just like, where the fuck does this come from? You know what I mean? Like, where are all these bands coming from? Like, are there any new bands that you guys are really digging on, vibing on? Any new releases that you guys are vibing on lately?
Honestly, not really. I don't keep up too much with newer bands. For whatever it is, they just don't draw my interest.
Sure.
I think the most relatively newer-ish band would be Revocation.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're new right now, but I guess they're like 10 years old now. But
They're fucking
I guess they're relatively new, I guess. But as far as like newer, modern-ish bands, Revocation. But other than like new stuff, I honestly can't say I really.
God damn, I'm trying. Black Crown Initiate. Have you listened to those cats yet?
I have. Not really my style.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have you listened to any of that stuff? I like that Revocation stuff. I think Justin from Simatha would turn me on to that band, Revocation. Sure. And then there's I like the new Gojira. I'm a fan of those guys. I've been a fan of those guys for a little while. I like that shit. I'm trying to think. New Napalm Death is pretty fucking good. New Carcass is pretty good. I don't know if you've got
heard a couple of songs here and there.
Didn't float your boat?
It was decent, I guess.
I liked it.
I don't know. I didn't delve into the album, I guess.
Yeah.
The albums. So.
Yeah, they released like a little EP, 6 to 8 months ago or something like that, and then they released the whole album, which I listened to the EP and I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. I wanted more. Gojira. Did Mastodon just release one not that long ago? I don't know if I had a chance to listen to that.
It's pretty good.
Yep. I dig them cats too. What is the other thing that the couple of them were doing with dude from Soulfly too? What the fuck was it? I can't think of it.
I know they did something with the newer singer for Alice in Chains. It was like Giraffe Tongue Orchestra or something. And I think it was Brent Hines that did that, but that's the only thing I can think of.
It's something. God damn it! I can't even think of what it is. Yeah, that new Carcass was Despicable was 2020, and then the Torn Arteries was 2021. Those are both. I thought they were pretty fucking good. But I'm with you, man. Like I get into this. I just like the old shit so much better than them trying to just blast over everything. I don't know. Like I dig the speed, but I really have always preferred the groove. You know what I mean? Something that just heavy as fuck, and you know what I mean? It was like the breakdown got played out by all the gent bands and all the fucking. Get me
started on that.
You know what I mean? Well, now how do you really feel about that? Because it's like, to me, I feel like they took a lot of that old school death metal and just snipped little pieces of certain things that they liked out of it and started a whole new thing with it. You know what I mean? Like the gang
with the gent thing.
Yeah. It just and the guitar tones and the fucking everybody's playing 8-string guitars and
they all just kind of do they're like a one-trick pony thing. To me, just my opinion. I think it's just like, the whole bwow thing. It's like, okay, well, there's that again for like the 100th time.
Yeah,
is there a riff or like
the riff, the riff that they always have that meshes with the triggered drums? You know that.
Yeah, everything has to match up.
Yeah, it sounds just like that. It's just that fucking.
That too, where the kick drum matches with the chugs every time exactly.
Yeah.
I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
It's fine if it's little bits here and there, but when it's every single time, it's a pet. I just can't do it.
How does Steve feel about that gent shit? He's gotta have a fucking hell no, I hate that shit. I ran into Steve at a job site like a few weeks ago. Now, do you guys like Dying Fetus? Is that something you guys dig?
Oh, yeah.
I do like Dying Fetus. Not like super crazy about them, but there are quite a few songs that I enjoy.
Did you get a chance to listen to the new Exodus?
Heard a couple of songs.
Good.
Didn't listen to the full album. I haven't checked out the album. Just, I don't know, the singles they had, I guess, didn't pique my interest enough to listen to the new album.
Right.
But I do like Exodus a lot, so I probably should give it a better chance.
Yeah. I've seen a couple people posting about it, and the people that posted about it, it's like I only have a few friends that I actually take movies from, you know what I mean? Like, dude, that movie was badass, you know what I mean? And then you watch it and you're like, yeah, I'll never trust your opinion on a fucking movie ever again. But the people that have posted the Exodus stuff, like I have fucking metal head friends all over the fucking world, and it's like the ones that have posted that shit about Exodus is like makes me want to take a listen just to make sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen kind of just reading through, reviews and comments. I guess I've seen both where a lot of people have been saying it's kind of not a letdown, but it's not like the heaviest thing ever, like they were saying it's going to be or something. But,
sure.
And then you get, you're always going to have your Exodus fanboys who are, this is the best shit ever,
Yeah.
But it's probably somewhere in between,
Yeah. Now, what do you have you checked out Gate Creeper yet?
I have listened to Gate Creeper.
What do you think about those cats? They got an old school feel.
Yeah, totally. They got an old school sound.
Been
a while since I've listened to them, but
what would you say you would compare them to sonically?
Well, they use the HM2 pedal, so everyone instantly just says, "Oh, Dismember and Entombed, Swedish death metal," because they have that guitar tone.
Yeah,
that's
exactly what I thought. Was Entombed right away was the first thing.
But they have a little bit of like a more crusty hardcore edge to them too.
Yeah.
So a little. Yeah, they have a slightly different thing with that.
For sure. How about Skeletal Remains? What do you think about those guys? I really dig those cats.
Don't know their material a whole lot.
You like Old Pestilence?
Yep.
Pestilence, Consuming Impulse is where I go with, like, every album that I've listened to of Skeletal Remains. He's got that Martin Van Drunen fucking.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the
that
super
fucking,
high pitch.
Just
rasp.
Dirty rasp. It's like this close to being fucking tardy. You know what I mean? You know, it's like
that's who he's trying to emulate.
Yeah,
Yep.
but he
but
just
it's his own thing to where it's
Skeletal Remains, dude, fits right in between
Okay.
those. It's like they had a kid and he was, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like this dark-haired Hispanic cat in the middle of it all. You know what I mean? When I saw him live, I was absolutely fucking blown away. The bass player, he had super sweet handlebar mustache from the way down and shit, long hair, skinny, like surfer looking dude, you know, but just pounded it out on bass, man. Skeletal Remains, one of my Gatecreeper and Skeletal Remains are like two of my favorite fucking new old school bands. You know what I mean? Like they have that sound where you're like, yeah, they get it. You know what I mean? They're not going to play some fucking breakdown shit, some weird breakdown shit, you know? Which, you know, there's bands I can tolerate. Like Reaping Asmodea, they're fast as fuck. You know what I mean? They're just a heavy fucking band, and they always blow me away. Fucking Dan Copy is one of the badass drummers ever. Dude's heavy, heavy, heavy. If you haven't had a chance to see those guys live, and I know, you know, gent might not be your thing, and they're kind of like right on the border of that shit. You know what I mean? They have a good death metal feel to them too. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're heavy as shit. Goat Whore. What do you guys think about Goat Whore?
I like Goat Whore.
Yeah, Goat Whore. Yeah, I've seen them a whole shitload of times.
Yeah.
They were touring a lot. Yeah, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. They were constantly like on every tour.
I fucking love those guys, and they cater to fat dudes when it comes to merch too. You know what I'm saying? Being a bigger dude from the fucking north, where you got to be kind of warm. You know what I mean? You fucking put on the pounds to be warm, or you just love food like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you got 4X. No, man, they charge extra when you go over 3X, so I'm not going to, I don't know that many fat people, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. And, you know, talking to Sammy and Ben, you know, from Goat Whore, I've always told him, dude, I appreciate that you cater to fucking fat guys, you know what I mean? Like, Ben just chuckled. He was just like, I knew I was coming north, is what he said. So, yeah, that's kind of one of, how did you guys like playing with Hex Vortices?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, they got a just heavy thrash sound, you know, good riffs.
Yeah.
Good songs.
Good dudes, too, man.
Yeah, they're super nice dudes.
Yeah, super good dudes. It's funny because Andy, when we were talking about you guys, he was like, dude, when they got done, I ran right over there and was like, you guys fucking shred. I need to get some shit from you guys, you know? So, and he was wearing the hat, too. So,
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I have actually the Insidious Disease 2020 release is After Death, and Shadowcast is the one that I actually heard first. That's 2012 release, and that's the dude from that Mark, whatever the fuck he said.
Grew.
Oh, Steve says it sucks. What are you talking about?
Gent or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said Christian girl beard.
I had a beard.
That's just what Daniel Ohlers says.
Oh, that's my fucking friend.
What made you cut it off? You just needed a change, or what?
Yeah, I was bored, and then I gained some weight because I didn't shave for like 2 years, and I'm like, fuck, I have 2 chins.
That's precisely why I have a beard that's way down here, because I got like 7 chins and they're stacking on top of each other and shit. Steve seen all my chins the other week. He was asking me if I was Asian because I had so many chins. But let me see here. Ask Chris about his friend Barry.
Nicest guy on the planet.
That face says he wants to say more, but he's not going to say more.
He's the kind of guy, when you're drunk, he's always got a frozen pizza waiting for you.
Woo!
Yeah,
that's a
Barry.
good dude.
Yeah, it's a good dude,
That's
right?
a good dude, man. Hell yeah. You know, that's probably key. You know what I mean? At the end of the night, you had a few beers and you're like, you know, pound down some pizza and beers. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. So now you guys are going to take a break. How long are you guys kind of taking a break? Are you only like taking a good shows if there's something that comes by that says, hey, Morbid Angel's coming to town, will you guys open?
Oh, I mean,
Well, yeah, it's not like we could ever pass that up.
Now, have you guys Hit Leo Presents Up or anything like that? Have you guys done any of them shows?
We have not.
Have you tried?
No.
We haven't tried.
You should. I think you guys would fit in really well with a lot of the stuff that he likes to put together. You know, do you guys have contacts for them cats?
I don't believe so.
Well, there just might be a guy who knows some things. I would
know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, I would like to.
You know the guy.
Suggest a band for Slam Dakota, if I can. Another killer band from Wisconsin.
Kinda. We were at one point.
Yeah, we're a Twin Cities band.
But we're a St. Paul Twin Cities band now.
Hold on, I want to make sure that I do this before she doesn't like.
We moved.
I'm going to share your album to her.
But some people still say Cannibal Corpse from Buffalo, not Florida. So.
Cannibal Corpse.
What is it? Are they from Buffalo or
Florida?
Or Florida.
That's
Tampa?
That's a Florida band.
Because they moved, but some people will still say they're from Buffalo.
Suffocation's from fucking New York, right?
They are.
You guys like Suffocation? Is that a band?
Yeah, I like some Suffocation.
You cats jive on.
Pierce from Within. It's a great album.
Oh yeah. There you go. Now it's been sent. There you go.
Sweet.
So hopefully this. Oh, she's gonna reply right away. Look at that, right on air. I'm trying to hook these guys up with a killer show.
Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't, man. Well, here's the thing: is like that's what this is for, really. You know what I mean? Like, I try to, like I said, have it happen organically. You know, if I dig a band or if you hear about a band and I end up digging the band, I definitely want to help them out. And you know, with folks like you know, if you already know Will from 1459, and then if you know Big Rob from Glutton for Punishment or any of them cats, you know, they're moving. They're always constantly moving, recording, trying to, you know, and he's got Twin Town Tyrant Records too, and 1459 and all that shit. But that's the thing, man. We got to try to keep this shit going, you know, and help each other out. And I know it's difficult if you don't have the connections for certain things. And I know when I was a kid, and Steve was around when we were kids, you know what I mean, 17, 18 years old, and trying to get shows and having guys like Don Decker who were pinnacle for bringing the style of music that we really love, you know what I mean, the underground death metal shit, or, you know, just the fringiest shit you can find, you know what I mean. And then you had The Root of All Evil, where you know, the record stores and the Nightfall Records and all of that shit's gone, you know what I mean. So the guys that are running The Root of All Evil now, you know, Josh Kellerman and I can't remember Mike, I can't remember his last name, but and the Roar of the Underground with Bill Hansen and shit like that, like, those are all people that you got to rub elbows with and kind of get your music out there and not be afraid to network with these people. And you know what I mean? Sure. Like, I'm one of the cats that, like, if I hear something, I want to make sure that it's fucking rock solid before I jump right in. But when I do, I try to help out as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like, I think that your band, by listening, you know what I mean? I downloaded your guys' album 2 weeks ago, and I've listened to it 4 times. And today I listened to the whole thing driving today, and I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just getting stoked for it, you know? And even when I came here, I put the headphones on so I could really, it's like I said, I got this little ass fucking speaker in my truck because it won't fucking connect my phone to the goddamn radio. So let me see here. She said, I'm currently on a booking hold until I hear back and let you know. Once I do, get this locked up. Thank you for announcing the starting in 2 weeks, man. It's nuts. Okay. I'm just going to reply to her real quick. Thank you. If something opens up, let me know. These dudes shred. And promo for the show. Sorry about that, fellas. I know it's great podcasting stuff. Me texting while you guys are sitting here. We're all breathing into the microphones. Oh, fantastic shit. Yeah, well, you know, and that's the thing, man. We got to try to keep this shit rolling and get everybody out there, and if you're you know, a certain caliber of band, you gotta fucking make sure you guys are. Now, as far as merch and shit like that, how are you guys sitting on merch? You guys have multiple T-shirt designs. I seen the hats. The hats are cool.
Oh, we have a bunch of stuff: patches, shirts, long sleeves, hats, stickers, CDs.
You guys cater to fat dudes since you're from the north.
We usually do 2X.
What that's
but
man, that's like.
But they sell so fast that we're like, yeah, we need to get bigger sizes.
Yeah, you need to get bigger sizes anytime, and that goes for any band that's worth your weight in sand, or salt, or however the fuck that saying goes. If you have 4X, hit me up. I'm your big billboard. I'm a fat dude. Make sure you put your name really big on the back, so I don't have hair to cover it up and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it works like that, real good. Now, current events, man. How did you guys fare through this whole COVID nonsense so far?
I mean, the first year sucked. You know, everything was just, you know. And then we released our album, and nothing happened with that, which can't complain. A lot of shit happened to other bands too. Sure. So, you know, this just kind of. But, you know, 2021 was okay. Right?
How did you guys keep things going? How did you guys continue breathing life into it? I mean, you said you just got the newer guitar player. What you say, 8 months ago or something like that?
Yeah. So during when everything was first shut down, we still had our old band member Nick. So he was in the band at that point still. And, you know, practice was going kind of slow, you know, and songwriting. It was just kind of how it was. And I know some bands were just, like, really into the songwriting mode, and I don't know, we just kind of weren't. And, like, things were just kind of slow going for everything for the band during the whole shutdown and everything. Not that we didn't, like, practice or jam or anything. It's just...
Did you guys stay away from jamming for a while? I mean, were you just kind of
for a little bit, for a brief period, but we got back into it pretty quickly.
You're like, fuck it, we're all gonna die together. Let's go.
Pretty much.
I guess.
Now, did you guys work through the whole time too? Were you guys?
Yep.
Pretty much. I was laid off for a few weeks, but I was back at it relatively soon.
Sure.
So.
Now, as far as were you writing as far as just guitar riffs and things like that? Were you like, fucking, I got to keep going? I mean, if you're not writing collectively, I know as musicians, you always have fucking ideas, or you hear something and you're like, I got to get into a mode.
Yeah. There were just little bits and pieces. Honestly, it was just a really slow period for songwriting for me during the whole thing. I just didn't feel much inspiration or motivation to write. Nothing came out really that inspired me to use a whole lot. You know, there's little things here and there, but it wasn't like some other bands where like they wrote a whole album or 2 albums. You know, So I've kind of written more now in the last
half years.
The last 6, 7, 8 months than the whole time before that, since everything was shut down or you know.
Well, I totally get it, man. You know, I mean, sometimes you get into that creative funk, and it's just like,
sometimes you're just in a creative funk, or you know, you get writer's block or something. You know.
Sure, yeah. I totally know how that goes, man. So. Now, like with the band, you get just kind of like you guys were still practicing, you're still playing the material for the most part. Now, when you picked up this new guitar player, was it one of those situations where you were just bred life right into it again?
Yeah, honestly, when Jake came into the fold, it really brought the band back up to where it needed to be, you know, motivation-wise and everything. And, you know, I think everybody, you know, started feeling better, and, you know, he, you know, has the motivation, and he enjoys it. So, you know, that makes everyone else enjoy it more, you know. Yep. So then makes me want to, you know, write more, and ideas, you know, start forming more easily, you know.
Right.
So
for this new material, you said, what, do you have 2 or 3 songs now?
Yeah, it's going to be a short EP. It's going to be 3 original songs, and we're actually doing a cover.
Ooh.
A surprising cover, too. We're not going to say what it is, but
sure.
It's a cover you would never guess.
Nice. Are you going old school, or are you going?
It's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
It's going to be great. And it's a little different.
Bee
too.
Gees. I'm gonna go with Bee Gees. You guys are gonna do some Bee Gees.
Not quite Bee Gees,
not
but
too far off actually. So it's a little different too because before Jake joined the band, our old guitar player, he was a singer too. So when we were looking for somebody, we were like, do we get somebody that sings and plays guitar again? And then Braden and I Braden the drummer, like, you know what, let's fucking try singing, right? That'd be cool. Like 2 singers, like it's a cool
Always
dynamic.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
and that kind of gave him and I more inspiration too, because now we're doing a little bit more, not just the rhythm section, right?
Right.
So, and yeah, I mean, we've been digging in a lot more too. You know, it's fun coming up with vocals, kind of changing stuff that was written to fit our styles more and stuff. So
Sure.
yeah.
Now, how much of the older material with the past members do you guys still play some of that older material?
oh, that pretty much we're still playing all old material
okay,
essentially
okay.
because we only have, as far as new stuff, none of it's recorded yet.
Okay.
So we only have one new song that we've been playing live.
Mm-hmm.
But so everything we've been playing is recorded material with Nick, our old guitarist vocalist.
Okay.
So.
Now with the newer stuff, do you feel like has it changed as you've been playing it out?
Has it changed?
Yeah, as far as
musically?
when you start writing something and you put it all together and you piece it all together, like in the studio, it always sounds, this is a song, this is complete. And then when you go out and you play it, sometimes you tweak it in certain spots where you're like, oh, I felt it kind of a little bit of a lull here or there and kind of chop things off. Or
yeah, we really don't play any songs live until we know 110% that's how we want it to sound.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really played a song where, it wasn't 100% completed, like down to the last
Maybe
note.
in the earlier days when we didn't have enough material, but we wanted to play, like we had like 5 songs, and there was like one song that we are kind of done with. And
just kind of throw it in there.
Yep, but
because only you guys know.
Yeah, we know.
We go, that last song was killer, dude. It's like, we fucking played this same riff over and over 12 times.
It was a fucking nightmare. You guys don't know it, but it was. Right?
Isn't that the hardest thing too, man? When you're on stage and you know exactly where one guy messed up, or you get off a little bit, and you try to make it subtle to where you're like, you're looking around
you
like,
don't want to do the look.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing over there? Like, he's fucking up again. That type of shit,
Oh, there's a lot of talks about it after. Man, I can't believe that little fuck up, and nobody knew it but us. But we're just like, oh,
we know it. So
we know it. So we're fucking
that was
bumming
that
about
was
it,
always the thing too. As you're coming up as a player, you know what I mean. Like you get a group of cats to know, like, don't fucking stop. Don't, you know what I mean? And if you miss like a whole section, you know what I mean? Like, you just look at them like, skip to the next part. You know what I mean? Like,
fucking, you just got to get through it. Like,
oh yeah, that's a tough one. Steve says, cheers to my friends from the old school and the new school of the Twin Cities scene. How about an old school and new school show? Necromus and Maniacal Force on that, Bill. Dude, I would play with the guys from Necromus again in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, the bass player, Aaron, no longer plays bass anymore and no longer plays in a band. I think he does solo shit, but it's really weird shit. So it wouldn't be him involved. And those guys are doing the Grand Demise thing, and I think that's their main focus. Steve, I actually hit them up and wanted to write another Necromus album, and they said they would, but we were having drummer issues, and I don't know. I think that it was kind of decided that we were not gonna. We didn't know if it was fair to not use Tony Olson as the drummer with Necromus, since he was, like one of the original cats from back in the day. So it was discussed, but I don't think that would ever happen. I did ask them if they'd ever want to record an album or write an album, and both guitar players said yes, and I would just have to find the rest of the pieces, but I don't think we'd be able to call it Necromus. And they're doing so much more black metal stuff now than old school death metal. As a matter of fact, that guitar player doesn't even like old school death metal, which really sucks. He's talking about one of my original bands from the early 90s. And I've got a dude that I ran into in the music scene who does a lot of stuff with Deterioration. and he does records. He makes records, and he put my original demos that I think Steve actually sent me one of my original demo cassette tapes back to me, because I don't own any of that shit. I don't own any, dude. I don't have any T-shirts, no hat. I mean, I might have a hat somewhere that's just folded up into little bits. You know what I mean? But I don't have any of that shit in that. That dude just said he put my old demos on record. So it was like, let's do it. I'd never owned my own record before, so it's kind of cool. He just handed them to me, and it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
But so you guys are just going to do an EP on this next go round?
Yep, the next release is going to be an EP.
Now, are you guys have any intention of doing any videos or doing anything like that?
Yep, we're talking about a music video. We're trying to come up with a good, clever idea that's cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
The whole EP is kind of like a thematic thing, so it's everything has a theme.
Sure.
So that's kind of the idea behind it. We came up with this cool idea, and it's like, okay, every song's gonna kind of fit to a certain theme.
Sure.
So the cover fits that theme too. So it's like a little one-off neat thing that we're doing.
Right.
We're also working on another full album too. There's ideas for that. So
sure.
Just kind of get some new material out there faster than writing 10 more songs and waiting.
Well, I just seen something, some article on I don't know, Metal Injection or some shit, and they were talking to I want to say, fuck, I can't remember, but they were talking about like the new style of releasing material. You know what I mean? Like a few years ago, it was like singles. Somebody would release a single or a video, and they would pump that and not release their full album. They're still working on the album, and they would release one more single, release a lyric video for that one where it's fucking jarring all over the place and shit. That goat whore video. I don't know if you ever seen that one. It's off of the. I don't even fucking know. It's like telling a story without all the pieces to tell the fucking story. You know what I'm saying? But they released a lyric video that had lyrics busting by, crazy jagged shit flying every which way, and then they would have live shit coming in. You know what I mean? You guys should do dual fucking serial killers that run into each other and become pals and kill multiple people. Cheap, find cool fucking monster dudes that'll fucking kill people on camera. Live shit, blood, gore, metal. That's it.
Yeah. Well, there is going to be a lyrical theme that for like the whole, like every song, like there's a main lyrical theme,
right?
Overarching theme. I don't know.
Where do you come up with your ideas when it comes to lyrics?
Oh, horror movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess our older stuff was all kind of. I mean, the stuff that Nick wrote, and he wrote a lot of it was kind of. Not like vague ideas, but some of them are stories and some of them are just a general idea.
Yeah,
but
some of them were different. So yeah, some of the
metaphorical kind of.
Yeah. The lyrics and vocals that I would write would be more metaphorical and
still evil themed, but just evil, not like a fucking story.
Misanthropic.
Yeah, sure.
Just more generalized kind of lyric statements.
Sure.
Whereas Nick's songs and lyrics are more
story-driven type
story-driven,
stuff.
Sure. More descriptive.
Yeah.
To actually tells a story.
Right.
So.
Right. Now, when you write, do you write a lot of the lyrics now, or have you been?
Yep. So I just come up with we have one song about a person, but otherwise other songs I just come up with a silly idea in my head.
Sure.
And then we're like, oh, let's call it this because it's a cool name, and then. It's like, oh, yeah, come up with a cool idea, and then I kind of write a little story in my head and then base the lyrics off of that.
So now here's a question for you. As you go along, before the song actually has a name, what are some of the song names that you've used with the tunes that you've written?
It's usually a winner right away,
working
right?
titles? Yeah, we don't really use working titles. We kind of just... I think
we sometimes we just come up with a name and we're like,
honestly,
let's write a song about this fucking
sometimes we'll just
cool
come
name.
up with a cool song title. It's like, that's a good song title. Like, and then you just try to create a song around that song title.
Right.
I mean, that happens sometimes.
Sure,
Not every time,
but
sometimes just like a song title alone will inspire, us enough to write a song.
Like everything gravitates to that fucking title. Yeah, that's a good hell of a way to do it. Fuck yeah.
That was, I think, Restrained and Maimed was like started off as a title, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's like you came up with
Restrained and Maimed sounds cool. It's fucking
right. It's like you got to use that as a title. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then make a song based around that.
Or then sometimes it's like we write a song and we're like, oh, I mean, when you hear the song, you're like, this could be about this. Like it kind of evokes a certain like that sounds like, I mean, like, I don't know, possessed is kind of dark and evil, so you think of demon possession or whatever. Like, you know, that happens too. But I think solely for this EP, it's just based off of cool fucking song titles, because we came up with the theme and we're like, okay, let's fucking think of cool song titles based off this theme, and that's kind of where that went.
Oh yeah. Cymothwa's song titles. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some of them are pretty cool.
They're just ridiculous. It's funny when they came on here, they like brought, you know, Jeff brought a little notepad with some good ones on there, and we just had a chuckle about it. You know, they're just crazy working titles as they go. Well, that's cool that you guys do it that way, where you know what I mean, you get it solidified and then kind of write around it. That's really cool. It's something when I wrote songs a lot, I would hear even just words. I would hear a word and think, okay, what all goes with that word? You know what I mean? Not necessarily like rhyming with it, but it would invoke certain things. You know what I mean? Yep. Like you would just start hammering it out or writing notes on things. Now, when it comes to riffs, do you have like a recorder that you record your riffs at home with, or do you have a setup at home? Do you?
Yeah, so I have a little computer set up to where I can record demo tracks into, you know. But yeah, you know, riff-wise, it'll just.
Do you tab your stuff out for the other guitar player when you do it, or you just show them live?
I don't. He's
a beast. He learns like in 2 seconds.
Show him the riff once,
love them
twice,
dudes, man. I love them dudes.
He already has it down. Perfect.
Yeah. Right. How many times are you doing that, by the way? Yeah. 4? Okay, sweet. How about we do it 6? All right. Did you just go into 8? Oh, it feels better at 8. You know what I mean? That's fucking always a great feeling. That's a killer thing when you're like, they look at you, what are you playing that on? And you tell them, and they just go, oh, okay. And they never look at you ever again. Yep. It's like it just fucking snaps. Those are the best dudes to jam with for sure. Now with bass stuff, is it now did it translate for you as being a guitar player? Were you able to just fucking pick it up right away? And is it different singing?
Oh no, I mean I've had so many failed projects where I play guitar and sing.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I knew how to do it. It wasn't anything new for me. I mean, I guess I was kind of rusty, but as far as like bass, like I just play like a guitar. Yeah. I just kind of, you know, he'll play a riff. I'm like, okay, I play less notes, you know, because it sounds better to do half of the notes he's playing or whatever. And
right.
But no, it wasn't too difficult.
You don't do any freaky shit. That type of shit.
No.
No sweeping.
No. Yeah, and the nice thing is when I fuck up, I can just ride the fucking low E, right?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
The whole time until I get back on, nobody will notice.
Right.
It's great.
Most of the time they don't, man.
Yep, like, I can fuck up more than everybody, except with the singing, but like playing, like, you know.
Yeah.
I like having the pressure off of me so I can, you know, get into it more and shit.
Now you were talking about when I mentioned Gorgatron earlier, you were saying something you guys really wanted to impress those cats because they're, you know, I mean they're a great peer to have, you know, in your corner. If you you know what I mean, if you impress them, they'll probably be like, dude, we gotta play again. Let's play together again. You know. So you guys ended up having missing members and ended up having issues.
Yeah. So our other
was that here or was it in Nodak?
It was here. It was at the Northstar.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So our Jake, our guitar player, he was out sick, and we still wanted to play the show a lot. Obviously not ideal because we're a very 2-guitar based band, so we kind of had to cut down the set list a little bit, dumb it down. You know, use songs that worked with one guitar,
right.
So it wasn't ideal.
I don't even know his part. Where does he? I see that
less
before.
guitar solo.
Yeah.
You know, so wasn't ideal, but you know, we did what we could. And
And there's just technical difficulties. It was like when I got there, my fucking adapter for my pedal took a shit, so we're trying to find, you know, a replacement. And then we figured that out, and then while I was playing, I just had my bass set up, and for whatever reason, it just started fucking up.
Right.
Playing it for weeks, and bridge started fucking up, and I'm sitting there adjusting it while we're trying to play, and you know, we're trying to not fuck up because we don't have a thick sound, so you know, I can't get into it as much. And kind of just rock solid sitting there like kind of boring, you know, because we're not, we just want to sound good. That's all
it's
we're
just
both.
that fucking, it only takes that little something, and then when it starts to add up too, you're just like,
it just wasn't an ideal show. But I mean, can commend us for showing up, right?
Hell yeah,
Instead of
man. Hell
canceling.
yeah. That's the seriously, that is commendable, man, to not drop off. But hey, let's just give it up, put it out in the universe. Hey, Gorgatron, give these guys a mulligan. Let them run it back, and and fucking do a show with you guys. Those guys are just brutal all the way around.
Yeah, they're great.
Such a great band.
They got their showdown.
Oh yeah, they're solid too. And Carl is jamming. I can't even remember what the fuck he's jamming with Maddie and a couple other people. I think from Invidiosis too. They're doing some other things. Sickness maybe.
Is it Rottenness?
Rottenness, that's what it is. Rottenness, I think that's what that is. And I think it's Matt the drummer too. Isn't he playing with them guys? I don't even fucking know. I saw them at Slam Dakota for like a split second, and then I ran and grabbed a beer, and I didn't remember anymore. I apologize for that, fellas. But hopefully they will fucking run it back for you, and you guys can throw down with them again here soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I cherry picking shows when you're writing is the best thing ever, because you just avoid that cycle, of grabbing a couple. How long do we have? We got a half hour. We got 40 minutes. And, you go pick through the songs and go, okay, we're going to play this one, and this one. And then you're in that cycle of fucking playing those songs and not writing the way you want to. Yeah. What is your ideal writing procedures? What is your ideal, like, what's going to get the most out of you when you come to practice? Is it a weekday? Is it a weekend? Is it where you got time to breathe a little bit before you come, a little time to breathe after?
I think our weekend, we usually try to do a weekday and a weekend practice, but our weekend practice is usually the best because, we'll go and get some food and beer for a break, and we'll come back, and, it's kind of more hanging out and talking about stuff, and it's just a little bit, where it's like our weekday, we all have to go to bed at a certain time, so it's just quickly run through shit. So definitely weekend practices help us.
Hell yeah. And you guys practice in St. Paul too, or?
At our drummer's house.
Oh, nice.
He's got a nice little spot in his basement, so in South St. Paul.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good spot over there. Whereabouts in South St. Paul?
It's Thompson Avenue, right by 52.
Oh, right on. Yep. We got a couple job sites over that way.
Okay.
One right on Thompson, right before Robert Street. There's like a big apartment building that we're building over there.
Oh.
And around that fucking area, there's like 3 job sites that we have in that area, right?
Construction?
Yep, Robert and Wentworth. Between Thompson and Wentworth, there's one right on Robert right there. When you go down Robert Street's on your left side. I mean, if you're going south.
Okay.
If you're going south, it's on your right side. If you go down Thompson, where you're at towards 52, we have another job site on the left over there, which is
I think we might deliver propane if it's the one I'm thinking of, because I delivered propane for. I don't know if do you guys use Quality? Do you know?
Yep, I think so.
Okay, yeah. I've delivered propane there, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Nice.
Small world, kind of.
Hell yeah, man. That's funny. We'll probably run into each other at a job site one day. I'm pretty sure of it. So now with where you live in Wisconsin now, it's closer to Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, so I live in New Richmond.
Right. So it's right there.
It's not terribly far. It's 35 minutes to get to practice.
Sure. There's really nothing for metal venues or anything in that area, is there?
There's no metal venues per se, no.
From like here to what, Eau Claire?
I mean,
Phenomena?
There's plenty of bars, but it's just, you get your Friday and Saturday nights bar, your cover bands. That's pretty much all, or whatever. That's what you get, everything, all the Wisconsin bars, but yeah, until you get, I'm not sure what's even in Eau Claire now I think, because the House of Rock closed
down, a couple of years ago,
They used to have metal shows and stuff.
Yeah, all the time.
Otherwise, there isn't really, I mean, there's places where we can find a play, but they're not metal based,
Sure. Yeah, it would be nice to have a spot somewhere in between, say Hudson to fucking, Eau Claire, somewhere in between there.
For sure.
That would be, open
willing to cater to
man. Because it'd be a good spot, like a halfway point to Madison even, you know what I mean? And then you get into Milwaukee, and then you're almost to Chicago by then, which is, something that. Now, what's your ideal like little run if you could do a run? Where would you? What are the close by areas you guys would want to hit?
Definitely Chicago. Colorado would be kind of cool, right?
You guys would blow fucking Colorado out of the water. I was just there in October of last year, and being in the NYDM, we have, you know, chapters all over the fucking place, and everybody's got their hands in metal and have, you know what I mean, they book shows or they, you know what I mean, they do something. And we did, the guys in Colorado, the chapter in Colorado did a show at Blackheart Brew, or is it Blackheart? Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, at this brewing place, right? And was a punk rock band to open, like a death thrash band, and then a black metal band at the end of it. And it was like the Northstar Bar, you know what I mean? Kind of in the corner, not really a PA, just kind of, you know, mic the vocals and just go acoustic from there. Musically, dude, we are super, super fucking spoiled here. Like, I was going, man, if this is all they have to offer, sheesh, they would not stand a chance with good metal bands from Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like, I was blown away. I expected a whole lot more. You know what I mean? Okay. And maybe I was just in the wrong spot with the wrong bands, but I was not impressed at all. And it sucks to say when you got a cool spot like Colorado. You know what I mean? Lots of burners and fucking people hanging out and real cool. I mean, it was a blast, and the scenery is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And the beers were fantastic too. You know, but I was really kind of disappointed with their metal scene, dude. Okay. You know, it was like, I'm not familiar. You guys would fucking slam there. You guys would smash it, and that's not out of the realm of getting that together either, by the way. You know, in that brewery in the same spot, that the guys who put that show on for us with the NYDM are pretty connected there. Like, when we walked in there were people that knew every one of the guys that we were with too. Sure. There's like a couple different. I cannot remember the names for the life of me because I'm an old burnout and I have absolutely no memory. But there are a couple breweries that cater to metal shit too, and I think they do shows there. So, well, Colorado. Then where else? What was there?
We did a small tour. I think it was 2019.
I think so. Yep.
And we went to Missouri. We did St. Louis, and we did I think it was Columbia.
Yep,
Columbia's killer.
And we had a fucking blast in Columbia. We played in some
college town, right?
I think I don't know. It's kind of weird, out of
uptown.
Weird, like kind of hick, but not really.
Yeah.
But we played in some fucking warehouse that some punk rockers like owned.
Yeah.
And it was sweet. I mean, it was hot as fuck in the, you know, there's no fan or anything, so we were sweating balls. But there's, you know, they were just letting everybody in. There's like homeless guys in there and shit. It was fun.
At least makes it interesting, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of people there. So I mean, St. Louis was neat. Played at I can't remember what the place was. It was a pretty cool place. So definitely Missouri would be on the list again, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Had fun there. We had a blast in Madison. We played in Madison one time. You know, maybe like, you know, go through Wisconsin, Missouri, you know, Illinois, Missouri, Colorado or something.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Super easy.
Yeah, I know a couple people in Madison and Milwaukee too, and I'm sure Chicago's not out of the realm too, man. I'm just, you know, trying to get an idea of which direction you guys are looking to go, man, you know, because there's always connections out there, you know, and you just have to fucking push one way or the other, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
If I can help in any way, I certainly will.
Sweet.
Fuck yeah, man. Let's see, what do we got here? We got anybody else chatting back here? How's everybody doing tonight? Again, thank you guys for tuning in and joining us in the chat and whatnot. I appreciate you guys. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for these cats? Drop it in the chat and I will ask them. And we'll keep you in the mix of this whole deal. I moved this monitor from like right behind my computer because it's like I could only see this, you know, this month. Looking at it, trying to gauge it, and it opens it up for you guys to have a camera in that direction anyway too. So yeah, it's a trip. Now what do you guys think? Do you guys pay attention to this whole Spotify thing that's been going on this last couple weeks?
Kind of, like just solely off of memes, I think.
Yeah,
that's where I got my news about it.
Sure.
I'm not completely. I know something with Joe Rogan and Neil Young.
Yeah.
Neil Young's all pissed off at Joe Rogan.
I think there's a lot of people pissed off at him. It sounded like, I mean, the first thing that I had seen, you know what I mean? I've always been a friend. Like this, Joe Rogan basically is one of the podcasts that I listen to even start doing a podcast, because I just like the long form and having long form conversation where you can, you know, you get to know the person that you're talking with, and even the fans of a band, if I'm doing it in the same format, right? You sit down with someone and you actually have a chance to get their back history of everything. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a show, you might say, "Hey, dude, you guys got fucking great show, blah, 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 blah. Let me buy you a beer." And that's about as far as you get till the next time you see him. You're like, "Hey, dude, what's going on? Hey, I love your band, blah, blah, blah." That's about all you get, you know? So having long form conversations, I loved it. I love that format. So the long form conversation, he did 2 podcasts. One with a guy, with a cardiologist. His name's Peter McCullough, and then and Peter McCullough's like the most published cardiologist in the world right now. I think there's like one other guy that's right below him. That's, I mean, ridiculous amounts. And then he did another podcast with another guy named Robert Malone, and they talked about side effects. I mean, neither of the people that Neil Young and these 300 doctors allegedly, which turned out to not be all doctors. They just said 270 people in the medical field, doctors, said that they were pissed at him for spreading misinformation through the internet and his, you know, millions of fucking followers and listeners that he has. The guy signed a $100 million contract with Spotify, right? And then had 2 guys. One guy's a virologist or whatever, somebody who looks at viruses and focuses on that and has been involved in that since the 80s with the AIDS epidemic and all that shit. And then the Peter McCullough guy, who is a cardiologist, both of which are vaccinated, both of which don't preach anti-vax at all. Like, they just want you to be aware of what's involved with that, which is funny because the Peter McCullough guy was in a congressional hearing saying that he thought that there were issues with the vaccinations, and that they're, you know what I mean? I'm not going to talk propaganda or bullshit behind it all. I just think that there's a lot of people that take what's in the news. Like, I'm a Neil Young fan, you know, like, he's going against this dude. They don't like research it or listen to any of it, and they just jump to a conclusion and say, this dude's an idiot, and all of his bro friends and, you know, bro listeners and these guys, you know, they don't have any clue what's going on. But they'll make their decision, but they won't go back and listen to those podcasts, which I personally am a fan, but I did not listen to those podcasts because I was like, I've heard enough about fucking COVID. I don't want to listen to somebody else talk about it. But with all of the nonsense that was going on, I had to go back to see how bad it was. Like, what was it that they were, you know, spreading, you know, negative shit about? Neither one of those podcasts were bad in any way, shape, or form. They're both knowledgeable people who are highest in their field. The guy's got, like, the one dude that they're really pissed about is that Robert Malone guy has like 9 patents that are involved with the mRNA vaccines, and all knowledgeable. Neither one of them were anti-vax at all. They just talked a lot about hydroxychloroquine. They talked about that ivermectin shit that CNN basically called a horse dewormer and just labeled it as that shit. And so a lot of people got pissed off about it. And again, they don't research what they're talking about. They didn't listen to the podcast. They just automatically call him an idiot because he's, you know what I mean? He's a fight commentator. He's a kind of a meathead, you know what I mean? But has a lot of intelligent people on his fucking show. And, you know, now when it comes to politics and musicians getting involved in that, what do you guys think about that shit?
Fuck all politics.
There you go. All right.
That's what I say.
Yeah. Because either side.
I guess, you know, anyone can have any opinion, but fuck them all is what I say.
Yeah, I agree.
In the
with
same boat. I just...
Yeah.
It's beyond me. You know, I'm a fucking blue collar guy. I just don't.
Right. Right. I mean, you know, we everybody was so split down the middle with the whole Republican and Democrat shit for years with the whole Trump shit, you know, and it's like you couldn't even have a conversation about anything online at all, in any social media platform at all. With this whole Joe Rogan thing, with me being a fan of Joe Rogan for like ever, you know what I'm saying? I've listened to fucking hundreds of hours of this dude's podcast, 3 hours a shot, you know? And seeing all this hate towards the dude, there had been days, dude, where I would write giant paragraphs of shit and just get it all out and then go delete. Just like, you're not going to teach anybody anything there. You know what I mean? You're not, it's not like us having a conversation here where you could go, dude, I totally disagree. Fuck you. And I would go, okay, cool. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to just outright go, dude, you keep saying that, I'm going to jump across this table and punch the shit out of you like you would on the internet where everybody, you know what I mean? Like, you and I are having a conversation, but 12 of your friends that have the same, you know what I mean? Like, people who are like-minded will attack one dude. They'll gang pile on somebody. And it's no longer a conversation. Nobody's learning anything either way, right? You know, it's like this misinformation that they say about what's going on with the virus and with the pandemic and shit, right? One person will say one thing like the vaccination is good or bad, right? You have to be vaccinated. You have to do this. And then you're forced mandates and you're forced doing this. And you have to show this to go to a show. And you have to show this to go have some dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no conversation about what's going on in between, what's really happening. There's no real fucking guidelines for anything. It's like one side saying this, the other one saying that, and they're both going like this to each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's no learning from anything. It's just fuck you. You're fucking you don't care about other people. You're not gonna get vaccinated because wear a fucking mask. And it's like, dude, I'm so tired of fucking hearing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
teach their own as much as I'll say. Go ahead and do what you want to do, but yeah, I'll let me do what I want to do.
I don't think Craig Rosen said this. I think Craig Rosen's beard just said this, and it says "fuck Neil, fuck them all" is what he says, and I agree with him. You know, I was with Leonard Skinner back in the day when they just said, you know, Southern men don't need you around anyhow. I was with those guys. I've never been a real big fan of Neil Young. Like a couple tunes, maybe.
I think Old Man, right?
That's a good tune.
I like that song.
I don't know enough.
Rockin' in the fucking free world, maybe.
Okay, yeah,
Everyone
I know
knows
that song.
one, yeah.
But that's about it. That's the only tunes that I dig.
He's Canadian too, right?
Yeah, he's Canadian. But did you know that he played in a band with Rick James?
That's kind of
Rick
neat.
James and Neil Young. That was the
neat.
That was the only cool thing that I was like, I like Rick James. He played with Neil Young. Cool. At least he's a little open-minded. You know what I mean? But no, he's in it. He's fucking an old man that sold half his catalog for 1-point-something million. You know what I mean? It's like 120 million. As honestly, it's kind of crazy to me. Where like, does it matter? Because Spotify doesn't pay their performers anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're making a fraction of a penny per fucking stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how people still. I mean, you got to get your music out there, but it's like you're just getting robbed for everything that you do. You know, it's so different from when we were kids, or you know, even beyond that. When I was a kid, it's like record labels. You would look for bands on a specific record label. You know what I mean? The cat from Megaforce just died. John
Zazula?
Yeah, just died, 69 years old. 2 days ago or something. But with that, you see bands like Anthrax and Metallica, or you know, on Megaforce. Is like you looked for all the Megaforce bands after that point. You know, and if you were a young and up-and-coming band and you got your demo to an A&R guy like that who was willing to take the time to fucking put a little money into you or get you into the magazines, you know what I mean? Like, that was the biggest thing ever, is to get into some of the biggest fanzines that you ever were into as a kid, you know what I mean? Back then there was tape trading, and Steve knows about this shit too, is that you go to the Metal Fest and that's all it was. You'd have a big backpack full of cassette tapes and you were just handing them to every fucking band you could possibly get, and trading and you know, going to the fanzines and finding somebody's address and swapping bootlegs, you know. And now it's not even like that. You know what I mean? You're on the fucking internet and you're trying to push the shit or like Jesse from Incinerate always says, he goes, just put me down as going, you know what I mean, and never show up, you know what I mean? You send out 300 invites and like 10 people are like, maybe.
I hate that social media plays such a big factor into like your band's popularity.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, like you see a band that has like 200 likes on Facebook, you probably won't. You're like, fuck them. And I'm you know, it's not like we have a shit ton of likes or anything, but I'm like that. I'm like, why am I like that?
Right.
These guys are probably fucking great.
Right.
But it's fucking ingrained in my brain that like, oh, your popularity is some fucking number. It doesn't matter. And like that's the only way to get out there, though. That's what it feels like, anyways.
Well, Andy Altman and I were talking about this last podcast too, about going back to the old school where you're making flyers and you're actually making a connection with people, because it was something that we did back in the day. You know, you stood outside of a big show, like you went in to see the show, but then you came out that last tune to stand on the boulevard to fucking hand everybody flyers. But it was like, hey man, fucking, I love that shirt. I seen those guys. Fucking, come to the show. That's my band. You know what I mean? You're making a connection with them, dude. I love your fucking beard. You know, I love your mustache. That stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, I got fucking a Carhartt jacket on too. You know, that stupid shit. You know, it's like
it's great. It's networking. I mean, you're actually putting real work in.
It's actually
real. Yeah. And it's, you know what I mean? Like you can send all those fake invites that people barely look at anymore. You know what I mean? Even event pages and shit. It's so difficult to get people to just fucking. It sucks right now because, you know, you got to jump through all these hoops to just go see a fucking band that you want to see these days. You know what I mean? And before COVID, it was even it was still hard. You know, nobody was going out to shows, and if they did, they wouldn't stay to see the last bands. They want to get back towards their part of town to catch a fucking late night drink so they could be in their part of the town, so they don't have to fucking get a DWI for the shit. You know, and they're having a good time. And I think it's ridiculous when it comes to, as Craig says, I got 57K on a vid, and this is the thing though, man. I got stuck on this YouTube deal. You know, like when I started this podcast, I was doing just audio. That's all I was doing, and I was recording it. And then I did like this online radio thing, and I would just run. I had record labels sending me demos and shit, and I would just throw it in this catalog. I just, you know, terabyte worth of music, and I would just push random with all the music that I played. And then when I would do the podcast, I would do it live on there, but nobody tuned in because it was just a weird fucking internet radio thing that you had to click this and then download that, and you know, it's just fucking weird. So then I jumped on YouTube, and my computer and everything that I was doing with the shit at the time was just not fast enough to keep up with the demands. And that's how old the computer was. You know what I'm saying? Like with YouTube, you can do anything on your phone nowadays, you know. But when I went back to YouTube with the podcast, I had 64 subscribers on there. I had no clue, and I already had like 50 videos on there from different bands, and shit would be freezing, and we'd still be talking, but the video was frozen. You know, doing that shit. And like we're having this full conversation with just fucking goofy face, right? But once I started kind of putting my effort towards getting more subscribers, you know, I hit 260, dude, and I stayed at 260, and I would check religiously every day just to go, oh, okay, I got one more. Oh, I got one more. And I get 3, and then I drop 2, and it just focused on those fucking numbers. For what reason? You know what I mean? Right. When I would go to the downloads of just the audio, 50,000 plus. It's like people are listening to it. It's all over the fucking world. But the video thing, I just got focused on that fucking click button, man. Who likes me? How many? You know what I mean? Like, I have great podcasts that I felt like went really well, and the conversation flowed really nice, and you know, we had great conversation that have 46 likes on there or 46 views. Where Andy and I last week we're pushing borderline shit where he's going, I'm going to lose fucking people. I'm going to get kicked out of my own band because I'm afraid of what I'm going to say here. You know what I mean? You can't be honest about some shit sometimes, you know? Has like 140 views on the shit, you know, like that. It was 120 after like 2 days. And I was like, holy shit. But I get so focused on that shit, man. You know what I mean? And like you said, with the likes with your band, it can really fucking get you in a mood. Like, am I doing all this for nothing? You know what I mean? Like, I can imagine it being that way, especially when you release an album in 2020, where, you know what I mean, you have like you said, it was a good show, a good release show, and then
nothing.
Everything closes down, and you're just like, fuck, what am I going to do, man? What are we doing? We're not supposed to be in the same room with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep playing. You know what I mean? You're trying to keep that fucking momentum going, and man, it does get to you. We allow it to get in our heads these days, man, with the whole fucking numbers. And you know, I mean, you get these fucking half retarded kids that are, you know, running around lighting their balls on fire and shit, and they're getting fucking millions of fucking subscriptions. You know, it's like these kids are making money off the shit. You know,
yeah, that's the way the world works now. Somehow,
it's that short attention span.
Yeah, that's
shit.
what it is. It's short attention. You know, people can't watch a video if it's longer than like 10 seconds. Yeah. They won't watch it.
Yeah, I think that's why, you know, the TikTok shit goes. I mean, what I think
that's huge. Probably,
it's huge, and you know what I mean. You could do once you get. It's really funny because there's a fucking glitch in the system where you can. I figured it out in like 2 weeks, man. I'm like, I'm not getting any subscribers on this TikTok shit. You know what I mean? I was doing silly videos. I was like, you know, taking shit from other people's shit and like, you know, scanning them in and doing this shit, and I couldn't get nothing. And then it was like I found this little glitch, and I was like. I just fucking shot up to, you know, way up there, and I'm like, nobody's watching this shit anyways, man. Any kind of the content. I just kept putting it on there just to say, okay, Maniacal Forces on this week, you know, that type of shit, or now it's now available, and that's all I would put on there. Like, I put a whole thing when I went to Colorado. I, like, videotaped the entire time from the fucking airport in, all the shows. I mean, the artwork. I did all kinds of shit. I edited all these videos, put music in the shit. I got one video that has one fucking play on it. It's just like, you get focused on that bullshit. You know what I mean? I agree with you, dude. It sucks. It sucks balls, man.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Now, what do you guys think that would help us, like, as far as, you know, I feel like going back to the old school where you're trying to make a connection with people and handing out flyers and, you know, being there with fucking physical. I used to love going to shows, getting smashed, wake up the next day and fucking digging in your pockets to see what shows you picked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like making flyers like a normalcy again, where you're just fucking slapping them everywhere. People are taking them. That's neat. I mean, word of mouth goes a long way, right? It should. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how we've been flying by the seat of our pants. It's just word of mouth more so than social media. Yeah. But, yeah, something about just, you know, going out there and doing real work instead of fucking clicking on a mouse or typing something.
Right, it would be great if it went back to that, but unfortunately I just don't, it's not the way that society works anymore. Right. You know, it's just.
Yeah, you can hand somebody a flyer and they're going to be like, fuck that.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like Guitar Center in Roseville, they had like this one spot out in the little fucking entryway that they had the whole entire wall. You could put your shit up there and it was great. Cheapo was like that. They had a big open spot. I mean, you'd make this a big round when we were kids, man. You'd go from, you know, all the head shops, all the record stores, all that shit, and you would have a spot to put things. I mean, Electric Fetus will slap your shit up. I mean, the guy at Electric Fetus was like, I love metal bands. They have the greatest flyers. They're always like spooky or fucking epic, or you know what I mean? Like, there's always great artwork, and it was cool to see like an indie looking rock dude with the swoopy hair, like, oh, awesome flyer, man. I love that shit. You go to a head shop and they put the shit up in the corner. Now it's slowly, they're taking that shit down. They're not wanting to put them up, which is unfortunate, man, because I guess now you can buy all your shit online. You know, Amazon's right around the corner. They should just have a thing where you can pay a subscription to throw your flyers up on your Amazon account. I'm looking for diapers. Oh, whoa, hey, Maniacal Force is playing over at the whiskey this week. I'm gonna go over there and check it out. You know, like it just forces it down your throat. You know, fucking everything else is. You know, we could be talking about diapers, and one of us will go home and fucking be scrolling through Facebook.
Guarantee it, yeah.
My buddy was talking about can of butter like 2 days ago. He's like, I know this guy's got this butter machine, blah, 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 and it's fucking awesome. I shit you not, man. I'm scrolling down Facebook, and I'm like, fucking can of butter machine? What the fuck is this shit? I wasn't talking about this shit. What's going on? This bitch is listening to me, man. Yeah. It's crazy how that shit works, man. Like, so any kind of weird shenanigans while you guys have been playing shows or out on the road or anything like that, any kind of like weird stories or bizarre shit happened to you being musicians as, you know what I mean? Like anybody fart in a box and give it to you or any kind of crazy shit?
Maybe down in Missouri.
Yeah, I had a couple weird. Yeah. One, our old guitar player, singer, both of us are like, our fucking backs are killing us from like sleeping on the floor all the time. So we decided to get a hotel, and we found some cheap, shitty hotel on the freeway going up towards Iowa because we were heading to Iowa next. And for some reason, we got a smoking. It was a motel actually. We got a smoking room. Neither of us smoke. We're like, why did we choose a smoking room? And get in there. We're laying down. You know, we're both drinking a little bit of beer, and then our old guitar player's like, "Is that a cockroach on the wall?" I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, I walk up to him like, "Yeah, it's a cockroach." He's like, "Okay, we gotta sleep with the lights on." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, the lights have to be on, or else they're gonna crawl over us while we're sleeping." I'm like, "Fuck." So he slept with the lights on, didn't get a lick of sleep. It fucking stunk like cigarettes, you know, like really bad yellow.
Yeah.
Big fucking brown stain on the blanket. It was bad.
I got one for you, dude. So we went to Milwaukee to play a show. Don Decker traveled with us, and we were looking for a hotel room, and we stayed. The Eagles Ballroom is here. Down the street, there's like this motor lodge that fucking was notorious for bands that come in and they would just fucking trash the place and whatever, right? So we go to the thing, and the lady at the door, she's a thin black lady, right? And she's hitting on our guitar player like, "Hey, baby, you looking for a fucking, looking for a date and shit?" And he's like, "Dude, this fucking chick wants to bang me, whatever, And I go, no, whatever. So she gives us the room. We go in the room, and everybody dives for the fucking, for the side table to grab the Bible. That was just something that we did, fuck around, whatever. So we dive, we get the Bible, we're looking around, and one of the guys opens up the top dresser drawer. The top dresser drawer is filled with fucking broken crack pipes, dude. And little shards of crack and broken, charred fucking glass. And then there's envelopes, and they're filled with letters. Envelopes packed in this fucking top drawer. And then there was an enema kit, a used enema kit. And then there were syringes, and there was blood, and there was fucking, dude, it was absolutely disgusting, dude, right? So we go to the lady, and we're like, "Hey, we need another room, or somebody needs to come in here and clean this fucking room." So she goes in, and she cleans it all out. "Yeah, baby, sorry, fucking cleans the room, whatever." And we're, lifting the mattresses, and there's fucking nasty shit all over the mattresses, and the floor is sticky from beer. It's just disgusting, right? And we all traveled in a van. I'm like, "I'm not sleeping in this bitch. There's no fucking way I'm sleeping in it." So Don Decker gets wasted, and he used to pull the mattress off the bed and lay it on the floor, and he'd sleep on the floor on the mattress, or he'd sleep on the box spring, which is fucking ridiculous, right? Yeah. So he gets wasted, and Steve knows Decker back in the day. He's like 500 pounds, dude. You know what I'm saying? He's got just fucking front butt. You know what I mean? He's like always wore sweatpants and shit. And the dude ended up breaking the fucking window because he was trying to moon people out the window. And he's, big fat 500-pound dude, falls into the window, trips over the mattress, falls into the window with his ass, and breaks the window and cuts his ass all up. So I got this chick from Chicago in the van with me. I'm fucking finger banging this chick from Chicago, and they all come banging on the van or shaking the van and shit. And they're like, "We gotta go, man. We're getting kicked out." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's fucking 3 a.m. "Yeah, Decker got wasted, and he fucking tried mooning somebody out the window and smashed the window and cut his ass all up, and now there's blood all over the fucking mattress." And yeah, dude, it was crazy.
And I complained about a cockroach.
Yeah, that's the good stuff you'll find if you keep looking. You stay out on the road, man. You'll fucking.
At that one show I was talking about where we played in that warehouse.
Oh, the homeless dude.
Some fucking homeless guy came up to me, and my tattoo was out or something, and he's like, "Sweet tattoo, man." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking cool," whatever. He's like, "You want another one?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "I live down in the train yard in a train car. I got a tattoo machine. You want to I'll fucking do you up sweet." And I'm like, I don't want hepatitis, man.
Right.
But he
was he adamant about doing it?
Yeah, he was.
Man, I make the best stick figures ever, dude.
He's like, "Oh man, I'll fucking do some sweet shit, a dragon fighting a tiger or whatever." It's like, I'm like, I just
what every metalhead wants. Dude, what is that? "Oh, Scooby-Doo fighting fucking Nemo." It's all good.
It's a staph infection, but it was a fucking tiger.
Yep, that's about what would happen too, man. I lost my arm. What happened there? I got a tattoo. What kind of shop did you go? It wasn't. It was a train car.
Yeah, it's fucking the needle's made out of a toothbrush that he melted down.
Right,
It's
right.
not.
It's a
not
fucking.
legit.
It's a cassette motor and shit. He's got to push play to get it to work
it's
and shit.
something
He's all,
fucked up.
let's get this done, dude. What are you gonna stencil? Nothing. I got this fucking Sharpie. We're gonna draw it on and let her rip. That's good shit, man.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh yeah. Well, dudes, I appreciate you coming to do this. I know that it's fucking. You're in the writing process, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to hearing the newer stuff. This album here is fucking fantastic, and I hope you guys get a bunch more shows and you get on the road and get to the spots that you want to get to. You guys, where can people listen to your stuff or get in touch with you or book you or fucking merch? What do you got?
I think we're on like everything, right? We're
we're
shit
pretty
on
much
YouTube,
on all.
Spotify.
We're on all the, the major streaming. Amazon, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, all that shit. You can go to our Bandcamp page and physically physically buy the CD or you can download it digitally.
We have a bunch of cool merch, T-shirts, and all sorts of stuff on our Bandcamp.
On the Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.com.
Nice. Bandcamp.com / Maniacal Force.
I think so.
Something like that.
Just type it in the search bar.
Yeah, search bar. There you
Google
go.
us.
Yeah, and make
Something
sure you do it that way too. You know what I mean, with all the streaming services and whatnot. But buy the album because it goes to the band, and that's what you should do: is support your local bands. Support your local bands are the ones that become national, and in these days they need all the help they can get because there's no fucking real backing by any of their fucking record labels anymore, really, unless you break some new records or really bust your ass and got to be out there all the time. But Bandcamp, check out Maniacal Force. What is, let me see here. I want to make sure. Deprived existence, right?
Depraved.
Deprived. Yes, make sure you check it out. Their 2020 release. We're going to play this last tune here. The name of the band, Maniacal Force. Brutal song, 6 minutes long. What's this one all about?
This one is pretty much just about the human race in general, just misanthropy, just no matter what happens throughout time, humans are still just doing the same dumb shit over and over to themselves,
People equal shit, right?
That's right, man. That's not a fucking lie.
That's kind of what it's about. So,
oh, yeah. Fucking A. Anything else you guys want to say hello, chat, say what's up?
Thanks for coming on, Steve.
Yeah, thanks,
seeing
Steve.
you.
Appreciate it. It's always
thanks
good.
for having us, Greg.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
dude.
thank you. This was great.
You guys are fucking awesome, and you know what I mean. Like I said, if I can help in any way, I'll definitely do that and shoot you in the right direction. If you guys need fucking hookups for anything, I can try to do that. Don't forget to check these guys out on Bandcamp and buy the album. Make sure you buy their merchandise. Help these guys keep things going and pay the studio rent, keep the lights on. Pay the fucking help pay the next demo rent as well. You know what I mean? That's recording isn't cheap. So make sure you support these cats. Go check this album out. It's fucking awesome. I can't say it enough. And see them live. They actually throw down. They're heavy as balls. And if I'm saying it, it's for real. I don't fucking say that shit lightly because I don't like a lot of shit. And I like these guys because they're old school like me, old as fuck, and like heavy shit. So check out Maniacal Force. And this is the tune, Maniacal Force. Take a listen, folks. Have a good evening. We'll catch you next weekend doing some shit. But listen to this brutal tune and have a good night. Peace out.
extinguish human life. Yet we are the ones to blame. The endless search for power shall lead the path to shed invisible blood is the coin from